Hey everybody, welcome to another Hex Futures live stream. I've been doing Taco Tuesdays lately. So right now I'm taco-less though. So I did a large live stream earlier today. It went for like 3.5 hours. And now I've sat at my computer doing other things all the way until the live stream came on. So I need to go get some freaking tacos. Playing with tabs now. I think I've sent out all the invites, and what I want to do is take a walk down the street with my cell phone in hand. And so I'll put myself as a guest on this, and hopefully I'll be able to read the comments. No, I probably won't be able to read the comments. Let me see if this works. So we had a very long live stream earlier today because people that I hadn't seen in a while came and checked into the live stream. So one guy's a Norwegian guy, another guy's a New Zealand guy, another guy's a Finnish guy, and a gal is an American. And so we just got down to earth. And I started out being on a rant because we've experienced stuff in the Hex community lately that is parasitic. And I'm not sure how I feel about the actions of some fellow on the edges Hexicans. And I'm going to zip that up for the time being, see how things lay out a little bit more, but get more to who I am and what I can do in this community, get down to my core a bit more. So I announced to that group that whenever it is that about 52 weeks, about that amount of time has passed, because it's a weekly podcast or a weekly live stream, that I'm going to seek out new ways of giving value to the community. So I'm not going to abandon the Hex community. Instead, I'm trying to figure out a better fit for myself. And the reason why I say this is because what I'm recognizing, these guys who are coming to our community and asking for fundraising or asking for you to give them a like and a follow on their YouTube stuff, those people can get a better they can better serve us in different ways rather than coming at us these ways that they are. They could be distributed to the certain areas that we need help because we're young and small. That's what's going on, is that people have talents and they could be a very intricate piece, a very important piece to our community if they would only go and be a part of the structure. Because right now we basically have like bleeding lines leading to our extremities, right? We've got cut veins, or we've got bleeding brake lines, or transmission. No, transmission doesn't have line, does it? You know what I'm saying? Like certain outreach things that we have going on where it's developers who are saying, oh, now I need another Twitter, another web page, another chat room to pay attention to, another spreadsheet to mark what it is that I've done, um, and then the actual communication once they get it. Like these people who have done so much for us don't need to be squashed and lost in the cracks. Instead, people like us need to step up and say, hey, I like to do this certain thing because I'm very aware of what it is that I like to do. I'm very aware of myself. So, where is it in the structure of Hex that needs help? Okay, does this jive with me? Does that jive with me? So it does take an amount of recognizing what exists right now in Hex, in the Hex community. It does take that maturity, and I'm having that maturity. I'm having uh, those revelation thoughts or whatever. It's I'm sure that if we were right with ourselves, we could have taken Richard's opinion of where we could fit into the Hex ecosystem, into the Hex structure, community structure, outreach structure. I'm sure or I'm pretty sure that he would be able to get us to step one of figuring out where we would feel comfortable giving over our value. Um, but maybe he's too freaking busy right now, or maybe the line of communication isn't direct enough for him. Like the other day I was witnessing him in spaces, and he was having to tell the hosts and co-hosts, "Hey, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. You guys need to shut the fuck up because this person's trying to speak and they're asking questions that many of possibly of the 5,300 or something, or 5,700 people that were in on this at one point, Twitter Spaces. Um, Maybe those people wanted to hear what this newbie had to ask. And literally, people would come up to the microphone and they wouldn't know uh, Richard in if they saw him in real life. They don't know how to stake Hex. All right. So I'm getting more real and I'm getting more specific. I'm going to fill a niche in our Hex structure outreach community. Um, I have been blessed with the wealth of Hex, and it has yet to fail me. Um, it hasn't failed anybody. And if anything, it gave you a smack in the face for you to get real with yourself. What's up, taco, taco, taco? So Finn Bear just came in the chat. I am without tacos because we went so long earlier. And what are you doing awake? You should be you're up at all hours. Um what was I saying? So I'm going to fill more of a niche. What I've been doing with these live streams is I've been bringing people to a place where they can talk amongst themselves. And I don't know where Taco Tuesday is going to go, but I like Taco Tuesday. It's awfully cool. Just 2 seconds ago, I made a new friend, and that friend is the first Hexican I've ever met on the internet that lives in my town. So that's really cool. Um, in a few days, we're gonna go have a beer, and so I'm really excited about that. Um, so I had this vision, right? It's me walking into my taco shop and me having my cell phone in my hand and being on a live stream. I wonder if that's one step closer now. Uh, in two ways, that could be one step closer. I might try that right now because I failed to get tacos already. And number two, I made a new friend in my hometown that's down to meet me uh, in the downtown area. So those two things are kind of that vision coming to fruition. Really stellar. So once again, I'm gonna attempt to witness chat. Hey Finbear, if I'm on my cell phone, do you think that I'll be able to view the comments? If I'm able to like leave my desk right here. Hey GGG, what's up? What's up? Welcome to the stream. I'm playing with my cell phone to see if it'll do what I want it to do. I forgot my no. I was left here at my computer too long to go to the store and get some tacos and bring them back and show them to the stream and make everybody's mouth water. I've got my friend from Finland in the chat, and I'm ready to field any questions if you have any, Triple G. So the title of this is Crypto with Tacos, but I'm a Hexican. That's this logo up here on the white hat. Good evening, academiciated. Good evening. Good evening. So yeah, Triple G, if you have any questions about crypto, I can explain it from my point of view within the Hex community. Oh, Finbear wants to know if your Triple G is actually G cubed. And where did GQ get its name? That makes me think that it's the Masons with the number 7 cubing it. GQ. Triple G only knows BTC. And Triple G will only go by G, or will go by G from now on. All right. So Bitcoin is a blockchain of its own. And if you look at market cap listing websites, you'll find that Bitcoin's number 1 and number 2 is Ethereum. And then there are other coins and blockchains below that. A blockchain is where computers will dedicate themselves only to that coin, that blockchain. And so you'll have a network of that around the world for BTC, and you'll also have it for that number 2 coin that I was talking about, Ethereum. Ethereum allows it, they have set up their software to where you can build on top of it. And so a guy named Richard Hart, richardhart.com, he's created a token that you can earn interest on your crypto with. So, and he's placed that token on the Ethereum blockchain. So on December 2nd of 2019, the Hex contract was woven into the Ethereum blockchain. And from then on, it exists on Ethereum. And the reason why this thing is special is because it works like a truth engine. It rewards people who stake with it, and people who staking meaning like you lock up your coins for a time period that you specify, and as many coins or as little coins or as long as time or as little time as you want, whatever's feasible to you. Um, and then if it is that you're dishonest and you say, "Oh, I need those coins back," then you get punished. And that's what the truth engine is. And that's the staking feature is what keeps those coins off of exchanges. And so it's away from the one-to-one with the US dollar that somebody might trade in and out of speculatively. So in that way, it maintains holders to the cryptocurrency. So Richard Hart, richardhart.com, he invented the Hex token to be better than Bitcoin because he saw that Bitcoin possibly had flaws. So he programmed in inflation to the Hex token. And this inflation, where does it go? Like it's like a hose slowly running into the entire amount of Hex tokens. Uh, but where does it go to? It goes to the people who staked their coins, who locked their stuff up. So you and others are competing for that amount of set inflation. Um, and then whenever it is that people get penalized, then whenever they get penalized, those amounts then go to the people who were honest. And because of this this code making it to where whenever you lock up the stuff, you say how much and how long, then we have forward projection knowledge of what things are going to look like in the future, which then stimulates today, doing something today. But it also affects psychology in multiple ways. So I think that's Hex token. You acquire Hex tokens to stake Hex tokens to earn more Hex tokens. So we don't weave in and out of what people call the real world and then get screwed over whenever the market goes a weird way and things need to be liquidated and you can't, so then there's destruction of the process. And then it's because the architecture wasn't built appropriately for a lot of those projects that have been done away with during this crash. And then people like BitBoy, which I hope you don't watch, but this guy's a YouTuber, and he believes that he can sue people like Luna, but really the deal is that you put value into something that had flawed architecture, and that's your effing fault. So that's the sentiment that you'll receive from a guy like Richard Hart. And he's enlightened his community not to be dumb people in crypto space. And we're going through and taking over crypto. So, common arguments that Bitcoiners would have whenever they're talking to a person that's in Hex is Hex has no value. There's no reason to give it value. And my rebuttal to that is Hex is a flawless piece of code. It's kind of a protocol on Ethereum blockchain, and it works like a time deposit. So it is a very elaborate, thorough system of time deposits, allowing each user to be the executive in their account. And so there is no middleman. You only directly relate with the contract. I mean, there can be a middleman, but that's why we're in crypto, to delete the middleman, because that's where the bankers are living off of us. I don't know what your occupation is. G. I don't know what your occupation is and how you sit financially within this world. Um, Let's see. So you might be a person from meetup.com where I've placed an Austin meetup. And then so if you are, then later on, um, there is an Austin Bitcoin meetup. And I believe there might be a few like Ethereum and Bitcoin and developing meetups in the area. If you haven't found them, look for them. Meetup.com groups in any city, really. All right. G says he's from Austin and is a manager at a tech company. Awesome. Well, you're probably more computer savvy than I am. I've been around computers because I've been doing architecture. So they had us basically in high school working on computers, right? CAD drafting. And then in college, you have your own laptop that follows you from studio back home. And so I've just had a laptop around all the time ever since then. And these days, people can put things on their cell phones or utilize crypto on their cell phone. How safe is it is questionable. I mean, everything's different. Typically, somebody would have a totally different offline cell phone if it is that like I forgot what they call them exactly, but one of those Android phones that could stay offline, secure, hidden in your basement and wherever, and then maybe small amount of funds on one that you use day to day. Uh, okay. The question that G has now is, what is a good initial investment amount to start with Hex? My typical answer to that is to take a good night out with you and your girl and instead invest that into Hex and throw it out for the maximum amount of time that you can, which is 5,555 days. Maybe you would want to split that up and say, no, maybe you'd want to split it up for like 10 and then 10 years and then 15.2, which is the 5555. Um, Earlier, I told you for as long as you want or as small as you want. The the real thing is that the code does have a limit. It's 5,555. And also, that's kind of a good thing because if I could, I would stake one hex for 100 years, you know? Like, so leaving an amount of meat on the bone for the future people to get in, um, because otherwise I would just be stealing the interest rate like crazy by planning so far ahead, right? And then also, whenever it is that a stake lives its life, at the end of that stake, there's kind of a marker that says no one can get a better rate than this guy got when he started out. And so the way that this is coded money here and investment savings all coded into one thing, and the way that humans interact with it. So what I'm trying to say is that also the inflation rate is coded into this to where it's the inflation rate that is deflationary. So as people interact with this contract, um, the rate of interest that you receive from the inflation coming in, it's always escaping you. So it's better to stake now for as long as you can And so that's why my answer is to take just one evening out, whatever you see that as, put it into Hex, stake it for an amount that then you'll just look at that and use it as a witness. And so this is maybe a testament of how truthful I've seen this thing work out. You just stake it to the future, and we have an app that you can view your portfolio free, and you can see it um, as a little chart, and you can watch that chart climb. And it's really, really interesting because it allows you to get in the game and experience it without actually like putting much down. And so that app is called Staker app. Um, it will ask you if you want to sign up and get a wallet, and you just say no, thank you. And you take your Ethereum address and you plug it into their app and view your portfolio for free. Those are good guys in the community, but you don't have to purchase anything to play, to have fun with their app. Yeah, Finbear backs me up with the reason why the longest stake is 5,555 days is to leave meat on the bone for the new guy and the restaker. So whenever people end their stake, um, they will often look at those returns and say, "Well, shoot, I just want to stake for more longer." Um, there is talk in the community about maybe the best thing being just shaving off the interest and continuing to keep the same principle, pushing out that same principle. How did I do things? I've got stakes every fall and spring. That seems to be a time period where I'll be at my house. I won't have any pressures from anything outside, so that I can, I'm not out on vacation. It's not somebody's birthday. It's not the holidays. But often people think about taxes, their tax year, what state they live in, what is it that you need to do? Hex is not a security. And so whenever it is that I'll be paying taxes is when I interact with the US dollar. When I bring my Hex tokens over to uh, an exchange and I exchange it for USDC, which is the US dollar coin on the Ethereum blockchain, and I bring that over to Coinbase, and then I transfer that USDC into USD on Coinbase, and then I say, "Hey, send that over to my bank account." That's when I pay taxes. I have been talking a lot today. I have like a light burn in my chest. It's asking me to cough often. So it's a pleasure, absolute pleasure to be here. I mean, I still have my coffee from this morning on my desk. Let's see. So hex.com would be a good website. richardhart.com would be a good website. Go.hex.com is a website that you can go to interface with the Hex contract. Go.hex.com /. Stake, I believe, is the tab that that you can click on there. Um, th- if you look at that, you'll have a bunch of grayed out values, and it's because those values haven't populated because you haven't connected a MetaMask wallet that's recognized to have hex or to have staked hex. Um, so you'll see that there's a table with a bunch of grayed out stuff on it, where you can enter in the values of I plan on staking this certain amount for this amount of days, and it'll tell you an estimated amount of return. And like I said, because of all the people who would be dishonest from their stakes, your chances of gaining more than uh, what's estimated are there. You know, Finbear says we had a good follow in our Hex Foodies stream today. I totally agree, and I'm breaking out a little bit of my last shell or my latest shell, being honest with everybody and getting things going. Like, I think after you left, they said that they would pick up a torch, like each one of them on a Tuesday. So that would be really cool. Um, that would loop people in more, give them more responsibilities, but also uh, re I don't know, like loosen up the mood maybe. Um, because so many times, Finbear, it's been you and I. And then lately, I have been trying to get specific guests, but that's because I have like specific suggestions from people on what we could cover. So I need to go and acquire those guests. Um, so one of them was the mushrooms. Another one was vitamins. Another was marijuana. And that's growing. Another is meditation, and then yoga, and then I thought Facing Reality would be able to share something random with us. So I have his name down. And it's kind of like what what Axis Alive is doing with that Radial series that he's working on, where it's like this is what you've been given. This is your perspective of what you've been given. You need to break through these levels of perception, gaining perception. Talking back about Hex, you could go to Stake Hex today to learn more about some projections in your Hex portfolio. Stakehex dot today. Finbear, what are some websites that you would mention to people? Hexnoob.com is one. So that's HEXNOOB.com. I've got a 10-page PDF that I could share with you on what I thought of the crypto market, how it is that I've followed Hex, and when it was that I got in, and specifically how to stake. And so I've got other YouTube videos that I think might be on this channel, and they're really really short segments, and they show somebody the it's really really crappy video. But the thing was is that I was writing the PDF and I needed the filler. I needed to have a something take that place. So yes, I wrote down the instructions on how to do it, and then I made a video, put the QR or put the hyperlink in the PDF so that people could just click on it. But if they chose to print it off, I also put a QR code there. I'm gonna go to my G Drive. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna pass it to the chat so that G can get it. All right, it's in the chat. That's that's what I always describe to people as my 10-page PDF to onboard Hexicans. If you're diligent enough to do that, then you pass the test to be a Hexican. Because a lot of people, they just don't go through, just don't follow through. But yeah, lately we have had people realize that Hexicans had it right. Following, like, Richard Hart was able to read the markets well, and time a product well, and now he's working on another product. Um, and it's not like another another thing with just a little bit of a tweak here or there. It's literally, he created this time deposit product, and it sits on the Ethereum blockchain. And now he realizes that Ethereum is failing and needs to be updated, and it's not getting updated by the people who are running it. So he's going to create a copy of it and update it himself. So how do you like that? I mean, that's like American, right? Um, yeah, so we got it right, and it's all because of architecture. And a lot of people don't realize this because they ignore everything in the world. I don't know. So people are now coming to people like me, to our faces, and saying, "Hey, uh, I'm one of you, yay!" And um, look, I can make myself useful. Look at this. And then you're like, what are you doing? Are you trying to shave off a portion of our wealth for you? Instead, you should be buying and staking Hex just like we are. And in time, your wealth will come to you. Quit trying to, uh, like, route something that is inorganic or shouldn't, things that don't fit. Quit trying to bring us new products and instead be a part of the team on something that helps us grow and utilize each other. So I don't know. I described it as parasitic earlier, but I also said that I got kind of like, it's on the positive side of this point, is that we Hexicans have a structure, and you can be a part of it and help us uh, be a good structure. Um, and I'm starting to run out of energy here. Oh, because I'm hangry, hungover on hunger. No, angry because of no hunger. Because of hunger. There are very talented people in the world. They can be put to work in a winning system, but instead They want to come to us and grow because of us instead of being involved in our winning structure. Thank you. I'll be here all night. Hey, G, you got any more questions? Academiciated. You got anything for me? Finbear, you got anything for me? Otherwise, I'm going to go get some tacos. I'm going to go see my bro over at the taco shop and say, hey, happy Tuesday, because it's Tuesday. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody. I hope I made a new hexagon today. So if you're on Twitter, you can follow Richard Hart on Twitter. I think it's Richard Hart Win. You can follow me, Eco Builder, on Twitter. My name is spelt right here. Okay, Finbear's going to sleep. Go hibernate, bear. On Telegram, you can follow Richard Hart at Richard's Calls is the channel name. It's a channel, so it's only a one-way communication. So there's no spamming. If you dare go into Hex Crypto's Telegram channel, just be aware that there's a lot of spam in there, and the admins are doing as good as they can. An even bigger shit show is Pulse Chain Com Telegram group. It's got probably twice as many members. That is what's going to be the copy of Ethereum. So it's well on its way to being created. In fact, there's a test net going on right now. Richard Hart is also on Instagram. If you want to see who Richard Hart is and how this fits into the world, there's a good interview of Richard Hart that was done by this Asian British girl. I think they were in London at the time. The video can be found, I believe, if you go to richardhart.com and you scroll down. I believe the first YouTube video that will be there, it'll be like turquoise and yellow background. It's a really good one. Now that's just like, this is who this guy is. He's just a dude who's got a high IQ, relates to people on the street, understands how to organize things, a successful business, what to get into and what not to get into. Yeah. So, because there are so many other videos that I could recommend that would be like people talking over each other, or possibly someone doesn't understand the jargon. Maybe this stuff's too fast. Like maybe I hear an insult that or a cut down, like a complete debasement of somebody's argument that somebody else wouldn't hear, so yeah. So the best thing that I can do, if it is that I'm just sending you somewhere else, is to tell you to pay attention to Richard Hart. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go get some tacos. I'll see you guys next week, hopefully. Thank you so much for being here. And you're welcome to contact me on Twitter, EcoBuilder. Peace. And also, for all you Hexicans out here, be nice to each other and be nice to everybody in crypto, because that's what we're about. And we're going to consume everybody anyway. So they're all going to be Hexicans and your friends anyway in the end. Bye.